We can perform Salat Prayer without the need to follow hadiths. This video will introduce verses that confirm Salat is in the Quran, Allah's final revelation and our exclusive source of guidance. Let's begin. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. There are three different prayers according to the Quran: Salatul Fajr, As-Salatu al-Wusta, and Salatul Isha. The morning prayer is Fajr, the evening prayer is Isha. You can find both in the Quran, chapter 24, verse 58. O you who have believed, let those whom your right hands possess, and those who have not yet reached puberty among you ask permission of you before entering it 3 times, before the dawn prayer, and when you put aside your clothing for rest at noon, and after the night prayer. We know the time frame of Fajr and Isha prayers from chapter 11, verse 114, and establish the contact prayer at both ends of the day and at the approaches from the night. Indeed, the good deeds wipe out the evil deeds. That is a reminder for those who remember. Let's break it down. 2 ends of the day are dawn, when the sun rises, and dusk, when the sun goes down. These are the time frames of Fajr and Isha prayer. God also says, at the approaches from the night. Approaches, being in plural, alludes to the twilights of night, which confirms Salatu al-Isha has to be performed just before nighttime. The middle prayer, As-Salatu al-Wusta, is found in chapter 2, verse 238. Maintain with care the obligatory prayers, and in particular the middle prayer, and stand before Allah devoutly obedient. We know the time frame of the middle prayer, As-Salatu al-Wusta, from chapter 17, verse 78. Establish the contact prayer at the declining of the sun till the night's twilight and at the recitation of dawn. Indeed, the recitation of dawn is ever witnessed. The sun starts declining after reaching its zenith. That is when we should perform Wusta prayer at the middle of the day. In summary, there are 3 prayers mentioned in the Quran: Fajr, the dawn prayer; Wusta, the middle prayer; and Isha, the late evening prayer. Now that we know when, let's research how to perform prayer following Allah's revelation alone. What are the conditions of Salat and the steps of how to perform ablution, also known as Wudu? In chapter 4, verse 43, God says, O you who have believed, do not approach prayer while you are intoxicated until you know what you are saying or in a state of impurity, except those passing through a place of prayer until you have washed your whole body. And if you are ill or on a journey, or one of you comes from the place of relieving himself, or you have contacted women and find no water, then seek clean earth and wipe over your faces and your hands with it. Indeed, Allah is ever pardoning and forgiving. Here are the exceptions and rules to know when wanting to do wudu and perform salat. Do not approach prayer if you are under the influence of intoxicating substances. Take a shower or a bath if you had an orgasm to purify yourself. If you have been in contact with women, if you are ill or on a journey, or use the toilet, then you have to perform wudu. In case you can't find water, you can use clean soil and wipe your face and hands with it. In verse 5-6, we can find all the details required to do wudu, also known as ablution. O you who have believed, when you rise to perform prayer, wash your faces and your forearms to the elbows, and wipe over your heads, and wash your feet to the ankles. Let's analyze the verse. To perform wudu, you have to wash your face, wash your hands till elbows, wipe your head, and wipe or wash your feet till both ankles. This is how Allah wants us to do ablution before Salat prayer. If you add extra steps, like washing your ears and nose, for example, this is your choice and in no case mandatory for wudu. This is essential to know, as hadith followers claim. If you don't apply the extra steps not found in the Quran, your salat will not be accepted. These statements are false and not to be taken lightly, because Allah's revelation is completed and fully detailed according to verses 6:114 to 115. Keep in mind that giving religious authority to other than what Allah has revealed is shirk, association. Now let's answer one of the most asked questions. How many rakah or sets should we do for every salat? The answer is, we must perform 2 rakah according to verse 4, 102. And when you are among them and lead them in prayer, Let a group of them stand in prayer with you, and let them carry their arms. And when they have prostrated, let them be in position behind you, and have the other group come forward which has not yet prayed, and let them pray with you, taking precaution and carrying their arms. In this verse, it becomes apparent that Muhammad's followers organize themselves to ensure their safety during prayer by taking turns. The group was divided into two, with one group praying alongside Muhammad, while the other group maintained a vigilant watch to ensure their security. This observation supports the notion of 2 rakahs, one for each group, with the Prophet leading the prayer. We can deduct that, in a normal setting, the whole group would pray 2 rakah just like Muhammad. It also confirms the fact that each rakah ends with a prostration. Salat, as outlined in the Quran, encompasses 3 distinct positions: standing, kneeling, and prostrating. In chapter 2, verse 125, we observe Abraham in the standing position during his prayer, and mention when we made the house a place of return for the people and a place of security. And take, O believers, from the standing place of Abraham a place of prayer. And we charged Abraham and Ishmael, saying, "Purify my house for those who go around, and those who are staying there for worship, and those who bow and prostrate in prayer." Kneeling position is demonstrated at 38:24, exemplified by Prophet David as he kneels in repentance. David said, "He has certainly wronged you in demanding your you in addition to his yous." And indeed, many associates oppress one another, except for those who believe and do righteous deeds, and few are they. And David became certain that we tested him, and he asked forgiveness of his Lord and fell down kneeling and turned in repentance. Third position is the prostration, sujud, and it should be done on the chin. Let's read verse 17:107. Say, "Believe in it or do not believe." Indeed, those who were given knowledge before it, when it is recited to them, they fall upon their chins in prostration. There are 2 prostrations per rakah or set, creating a back and forth motion, as indicated in verses 26, 218, and 219. The one who sees you when you stand, and your back and forth motion within the prostrators. Salat ends with the second prostration of the second rakah, like seen in verse 4, 102. Here is the evidence that Salat is in the Quran, Allah's complete and fully detailed revelation. Salat is a deeply personal experience and may differ among individuals, reflecting our unique connection with Allah. Now, read the revelation and come up with your own conclusion. This video is an introduction to the topic of Salat prayer following the Quran alone. For a complete scientific study mentioning every verse, I recommend watching the Salat 2 video made by my brother, the Warner. Link in the description. Peace be upon you.